good morning, everyone. Welcome everyone on Zoom as well. It's lovely to see you here. Last month when we were here, we had about half the amount of people. So it's really beautiful to see the room all filled. Hopefully next month, we'll have people going all the way to the back of the room and every seat filled. And yeah, that'll be amazing to see. So I started my family visits here in West Midlands, and a common theme which lots of members have been saying to me is how great Birmingham is and how great the West Midlands region is and how busy the region used to be, and with lots of activities going on for young, old and within different communities. And the general feeling I had was that maybe this was stifled by COVID-19 and lockdowns, but everyone I shared with really has a longing to try and make this region busy and bustling and active again, which I'm sure we will get to. And a question people have been asking me is, so what's the plan for www Holy Community? And that really is a loaded question, which I can't answer straight away. But I was speaking to Uncle Tom Knight, who was talking really passionately about his physics project of developing energy. And he said to me, oh, by the way, I'm 79 years old. And that absolutely blew my socks off. I almost choked on my pizza he was serving me there. I thought, wow, 79 years old, trying to defy physics with his invention and defying biology with his energy as well. Completely amazing. And that really inspired me that I'm sure that we can put the same energy into this region to make this region great and to make this region the forefront of the UK in terms of outreach and activities. But in order for us to progress, in order for us to develop, conditions need to be set. And these conditions are, if you like, our internal connections to God, our internal offerings to God. So with the person next to you, I just want you to ask them, what do they think a condition is? What do you think the definition of a condition is? Going back to my teacher roots now.
Doing something good.
Okay, so Uncle Tom Bridge says doing something good. Aunt Joanna Hartle, what do you think a condition is for you?
To offer part of yourself, your money, your time, your energy, your activities, and to offer that to God.
Okay, exactly. Anyone else want to share? Go on then. Yeah, lovely.
On the same page, I would say to offer it to God and to humans as well.
Okay, good. So I think, yes, Uncle Tom Knight.
To surrender ourselves
Okay,
to
good.
God in all that we do.
Love that word, surrender. So I think we're in agreement that we have to give something up. We have to give something to God. And the purpose of our lives is truly to try and know God intimately. And for this to happen, we have to develop a relationship with God. It cannot just be us asking and expecting all the time. If we think back to our relationships with our parents, when we're younger, when we're infants and we're small, we're just receiving all the time, and our parents give to us unconditionally. But ideally, we grow up, we mature, we become adults. And then if we think back to the relationships we have with our parents or with our best friends or our teachers, is really a give and take relationship where we're not just expecting all the time, but we're giving something back. And that's what really a condition is us giving something back to God that he can use so we can return, as we can have returns in blessings and his love. So we really need to mature spiritually to the point where we're able to give to God. We're able to offer our time, our devotion, and our sacrifice to God as mature adults, not just expecting to take. Lots of my prayers when I was younger was very much the same thing, just constantly asking for things. You know, can I receive financial fortune? Please help me with my education and help me with my various goals. But as I've grown older and I've started to reflect upon this, my prayers have changed where I'm asking God, you know, how can I help him? What can I give? Because if we're just taking all the time, that's a very one-sided relationship. And our understanding of God is that we worship a living God, the God of love. And love is give and take, not just the selfish act of taking all the time. A few weeks ago, we had our morning readings on Zoom, and our founder, Reverend Moon, was talking about his experiences on the toilet and how even he was grateful for his bowel movements and that his body was functioning well. And he was reflecting on, even when he's on the toilet, he offers that time to God, and he offers that time for a higher purpose. Now, it's a very strange example because sitting on the toilet is, personal, probably intimate. I won't go into how long we probably spend on the toilet, but to have the attitude that even when we're on the toilet, we're offering that for a higher purpose. We're offering that time to God and for someone else that's not just ourselves, not just for a selfish purpose. So really, setting conditions is something that can be very big. I know in our movement, we've regularly set conditions, whether that's a prayer condition, a reading condition, cold shower conditions. But having a condition goes much further than that. It goes right down to our micro interactions, our thoughts, that we're offering all that up to God for a higher purpose. So can anyone tell me then, what's their favourite condition that they like to do?
Cold shower.
Cold shower, I'm doing one at the moment. It's a bittersweet relationship with cold showers because it's horrible when you go in, but you feel so refreshed afterwards. Uncle Tom?
Studying God's word
Studying God's word. How often?
every morning and every night.
Okay, super, lovely. Yes?
Praising God.
Praising
Singing.
God. Singing, yes,
Yeah.
lovely. I think that's a great way, and we were very lucky to have almost a band here this morning to perform and play. I think that's a great condition and offering to God. Yes, Aunt Patricia. Loving people. How do you give out love the most, Aunt Patricia? Or would you say your love language is?
Being in touch and being there with people.
Okay, so communicating again. So that is a condition. We might not think of that as being a typical condition, but within our micro interactions and interactions with others, that's a perfect way to continually give love, to give ourselves for a higher purpose. So why are conditions important? Within the reading we had today, I picked it because there was a sense that we can't do everything by ourselves, and we have God's word within us, and that almost has to be used and activated within us. I go mountain biking quite regularly, and for me, I really experience God through mountain biking. I live in South Wales, there's lots of hills and mountains and valleys, and I try and get on my bike as much as possible. During the first lockdown, actually, most people in Wales were on their mountain bikes, and the bike tracks were busier than before COVID, when everyone was working from home. Most people are on their bikes near us during their lunch breaks. And my brother-in-law, Josh Simon, he's very clever because he knows how to push my buttons. And he says things to me like, you wouldn't go down that track faster than me, or you wouldn't do that jump, or you wouldn't beat your time in 4 minutes going down there. And that really gets under my skin and winds me up and pushes me to do those things. So he's very clever when he wants me to do something. He knows how to push my buttons. So one day we were going down this track and he said, you wouldn't beat your fastest time on there. And because so many people were riding on that mountain bike track during COVID, the track almost had grooves in it where so many wheels had gone down. So there was me almost feeling taunted by Josh, and I thought, I'm going to beat my time on this track. So I went down as fast as I could. And because this track had so many grooves in it where people had been going down during lockdown, and the people who maintained the tracks weren't working, and I was going really fast, and I went to turn my front wheel, but my wheel got stuck in a groove, and over the handlebars I went, going about 20 miles an hour, I believe, and I landed on my back about 12 meters away from my bike. And that bike was very expensive, so when I got, my first thought was, oh my gosh, I broke my bike. But I was really lucky there because I landed on my back, and Kyan hates me drinking Monsters and Red Bull, but I had 2 cans in my backpack, large cans, and luckily where I landed on my back, those cans of Red Bull took all the impact, and my backpack was shredded open. My cans of Red Bull were also obliterated completely, and I just walked off with a scratch. Bear in mind, I only had a helmet and knee pads on, and that really reminded me that we're not in control of our lives. Or as much as we think we're in control and we try and have a tight grip on our lives, we're not in control at all. In reality, we're in control about 5%, I believe, of our life. 95% is the will of God. So every time I mountain bike, I always have a think and a prayer before I go down, just for some spiritual power support. But that accident really could have been something much worse. I follow a YouTuber, and he was a professional mountain biker, and he uploaded a video last year called "My Last Ride." And Whistler Bike Park is the mecca of mountain biking in America. All the pros go there, amateurs want to go there, and people almost make a pilgrimage to this bike park. But this racer I follow, he went there one day and he went too fast over a jump, and he landed awkwardly on his back, and he's now paralyzed from the leg down. But he uploaded that video just to show, the dangers and the awareness of it. And as I experience God and love a lot through nature and mountain biking, that really hit home to me how we're not in control, and we need to make conditions within our lives every day through our interactions and our thoughts. But that leads me to talk about then what would be the opposite to setting good conditions. Because I truly believe that if God is love and love is good and love is pure and bright, then the lack of it then would be meaning setting bad conditions. I don't think there would be a scenario where we're just neutral. And obviously human beings, we're flexible, we're changing, we're not static. So perhaps we're setting good conditions sometimes and not so good conditions at other times. So when preparing for this sermon, that led me to think about what bad conditions might we be setting. Now, as people of faith and as part of a holy community here, I very much doubt that any of us would go out and murder or commit mass fraud or commit rape or any of these larger crimes. I hope not anyway. So then how is evil making our way into our lives? How are we setting bad conditions? And the way I like to see it is that evil is like a loan shark, one of these payday loan companies, where they say, oh, if you're struggling with money, here's £1,000, but I want 30% interest at the end of each month. So these bad conditions, they seem free to us in the moment, but they have a large consequence on our spirits, on our relationship with God and relationship with others. My best friend's sister, she's in massive debt. She earns a lot of money, but she found that the more she was earning, the more she was spending. And the company approached her and said, we'll package all your loans into one place, your mortgage, your various student loans, and your other payday loans you've taken out. And they offered her this ridiculous, what's the word? Yeah, ridiculous deal, a ridiculous interest rate. That was the word I was looking for. Where they said, we'll package all your debts into one place, we'll set you on a plan, but they wanted 27.5% interest on that, which is absolutely crazy. And it seems like a good deal at the time, where you think, okay, I can temporarily not worry about my debts. But actually in the long term, that's so damaging in so many ways. And what I've noticed recently in society and in my own life growing up, I know this is a touchy subject, but I'm going to bring it up, but pornography and the misuse of the human body, love, and the misuse of relationships. I think this is a key way in which evil is setting into our society. And that's a good example of where you might be feeling lonely, upset by yourself, and you might engage in that content. And you don't think you're hurting anyone directly, or you're committing a sin or being evil. But that's a way in which you think, it's low consequence and that it's free in a way, but however that has detrimental effects upon your relationships, your outlook on the world, your relationship with God, and how you see your fellow brothers and sisters around you. And I really think that's the way in which, and similar ways in which evil is creeping into our lives, and how we're set in bad conditions then, which takes us further away from God. And they seem very low consequence to start with, but actually they're creating this barrier, and they help, and they're leading us towards Satan's side, towards the side of evil, rather than trying to devote our whole self to God then. And this was really compounded to me when me and Karen were watching Netflix the other day. I typed in P on the search to look for Peaky Blinders, Those of you from Birmingham and around here might know it was filmed here, and me and Karen love that show. But about 3 searches below was the word porn on Netflix, and yeah, so this really shocked me and Karen jumped up and said, "Oh, Elliot's not what it looks like. I didn't type it in."
Yeah, I saw you were accusing me. I was like, what?
And she got very defensive. I said, no, it's just on the recommended search, which is crazy. If you're, trying to search anything beginning with P, that would be, 3rd on the list of things that people are searching. And for me, that really compounds the idea that that evil is creeping into our lives through these bad conditions we may be set in. Not through larger crimes, so to speak, but just in not thinking in a heavenly way when working with each other in our thinking and our actions. So I just wanted to raise this point today, that it's important that we set good conditions in everything we do, no matter how small it may be, whether it's our thoughts, our interactions with each other, or in larger conditions such as Lent or Ramadan has just ended, where people are giving up something, people are sacrificing something to move God's heart, and they're giving up a part of themselves to let God in. So I just wanted to mention this to everyone today, because people are asking and keen for our holy community to develop and be vibrant, and to be alive ever more than it ever has been before. But in order for that to happen, we need to give something up. We need to develop our relationship with God, reach out, and make sure that we're not just taking all the time. So thank you so much for listening today, and we'll have some reflection time.
Okay, thank you for that, Elliot. And a lot of food for thought there, and some time to reflect on the sermon. Yeah, now we'll be having our 3rd song. It's entitled "Here I Am, Lord." Is it in the blue somewhere? Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop the picture.
We hold it up. We'll take it out of the order.
I am the Lord of sea and sky. I have heard my people cry. All who dwell in darkness sin, my hand will save. I will make the stars at night. I will make the darkness bright. You will give my light to them. Whom shall I say? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go along. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. I will over snow and rain. I have gone my people's pain. I have read the love of them. They turn away. I will break their hearts of stone. Give them hearts of love alone. I will speak my word to them. Who shall I say? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. I am the Lord of wind and rain. I will take you and rain. I will send the peace for them. My hand will sing. By His will I will go. Till their hearts be satisfied. I will give my life to them. When shall I say? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in my heart. I will go, Lord. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. I
Okay, thank you, everyone. That was a wonderful song as well, and we really appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of good points to take away with us today, and we're really appreciative of it. Setting conditions, I think, has been a very important point for me this year, and I'm trying to improve on that. Right now I'm doing a fasting condition, fasting with my wife. My kids are not fasting, they're eating too much at the moment, which is good, it's good. But I think it's important to try and push ourselves to do something that involves some sacrifice, or something that involves letting go of things that we hold on to preciously, and just seeing what we can gain from that. Be that, I don't know, like what we do at Lent, like not eating chocolate or something like that. Just letting go for a little bit of time, seeing what we can gather for ourselves or for our families. Maybe communicating with new people, different things, a new way of taking on a broader perspective. Yeah, so I'm really glad that Elia could talk about setting conditions today. And yeah, and now we're going to have our closing prayer, and that will be given by. Oh, she's not here. Okay, so I don't mind if someone else feels comfortable to offer the closing prayer. Anyone? Okay, if you want to. Okay. Let's pray.
Dear loving God, thank you for this precious time we could spend together here. Thank you for your words we could hear today. And we're so grateful for brothers and sisters and for one another. We treasure one another. And thank you for what we could learn today. Please guide us in our lives, and this week, this month, and this year ahead, we can make good conditions to develop ourselves, that we can open our heart more to you. And you know, you are longing to embrace us, dear God. We're sorry that sometimes we make blockages, dear God. Please guide us to remove these blockages and return home to you completely in all of our hearts. Yeah, and as we go along, please guide us. We can find ways in which we can help others. Yeah, who is it that you need us to help and reach out to today, this week, this year? Yeah, dear God, we want to surrender ourselves to you now once again. And we offer our prayers together. We offer this day, this week, and this year, this time to you. We offer everything together now. In the name of Tom and Friederike Prutti of our Central Family. Thank you. Great.
I'll tell everyone we're done. We'll have some refreshments.
Okay, yeah, we're all done now. But yeah, there'll be some refreshments if anyone would like to stick around for those, and please try and just talk to someone maybe you've never met before, talk to old friends or people you haven't seen for a while. But yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.